Good afternoon. I'm calling the meeting to order. I note that some of the participants are participating via video conference. Today's public meetings are also being live streamed from the Port Authority website. We will now hold the public committee meeting, starting with the Committee on Operations, which I will chair, followed the Committee on Finance, which will be chaired by Commissioner McCabe. A meeting of the Committee on Capital Planning, Execution, and Asset Management will follow, which will be chaired by Vice Chair Linford. We'll conclude the public portion of today's meeting with the public board meeting. We'll start the public meeting of the Committee on Operations. Earlier today, the committee met in executive session to discuss matters related to the lease of all real property where disclosure would affect the value thereof or of public interest. At this point, we ask the board secretary to advise those present to the composition of the committee and any commissioner recusals on the matter before the committee on today's public session.
The Committee on Operations is composed of Chairman O'Toole, the committee chair, Vice Chairman Linford, the committee chair, and Commissioners Kelly, LaBarbera, and McCabe. All committee members are present with the exception of Commissioner LaBarbera. Also present today, Commissioners Bolwage, Eve, Vine, Fisher, Helmy, and Richardson. Eve and Bolwage being remote. There are no recusals required.
Great. I'll now call on the Chief Development Officer, Derek Utter, and our Director of Ports, Beth Ann Rooney, to present an item that would authorize supplement to extend the lease with regard to the container terminal operator APMT at the Elizabeth Port Authority. Derek?
Where are you, Derek? Good afternoon, Commissioners. Derek and I are here this afternoon to seek your authorization to supplement the lease at the Elizabeth Port Authority Marine Terminal with APM Terminals. Next slide. Oh, I have the control. This afternoon, we'll talk about the container terminal overview, an introduction to APM terminals. Derek will speak about the key lease provisions, and then we will seek your authorization. So again, just for orientation for everyone, we're talking about our marine terminal facilities that are located in Port Newark, Elizabeth, Bayonne, Jersey City, and Staten Island. The Port Authority uses a landlord model, whereas some other ports in the United States are an operating model. We are the number one port on the U.S. East Coast and number 3 in the United States. All total, we have about 3,000 acres of facilities, and 5 of them now are dedicated to container terminals, and we're speaking today specifically about APM terminals, which you see circled there on the map. APM terminals takes up about 345 acres in the Elizabeth Port Authority Marine Terminal. It is the second largest of our terminals in the complex. All totaled, it has about 6,000 linear feet of berth and wharf structure. And between the APM terminals and the neighboring terminal to the north, MAR Terminals, is an intermodal express rail facility known as Millennium Marine Rail, which is jointly operated by APM Terminals and MAR. The lease with APM currently expires on December 2029. APM, if you're not familiar with them, is the terminal operating business of AP Moller Maersk. Maersk is the Danish shipping and logistics company that was founded in 1904 by Arnold Peter Moller, second largest shipping company in the world. They operate today in 130 countries with over 500 warehouses and 100,000 employees. Last year, they made $56 billion in global revenue and are a publicly traded company. Most notably is that they have been calling at the Port of New York and New Jersey now for over a century and is the longest-serving ocean carrier in the Port of New York and New Jersey. APM is the 4th largest terminal operator in the world, managing terminals and assets in 33 different countries. Here in the United States, New York, New Jersey has been, I would say, their signature and their home base in the United States. They also have operations in Los Angeles, Miami, and Mobile, Alabama. And I'll turn it to Derek to talk about the new lease provisions.
Okay, so as Beth said, we have 5 container terminals operated by 4 operators. So this is an important transaction since we are extending the lease by 33 years. So The broad framework of this transaction is that we will provide a lease extension until 2062 from the current 2029 date, and we will receive a lease extension payment. In addition to that, there will be an increase in rent consistent with the transaction that we were involved in as a change of control transaction 2 years ago. And so rent will change from a fixed plus a variable portion to an entirely variable rent, which will be based on per container, and it will be higher than it is today. It will be subject to a minimum annual guarantee. Importantly, we will be transferring the obligation for the wharf and berth infrastructure, which has been the Port Authority's obligation, to the tenant. And the tenant in this case will replace 100% of the wharf and berth structures over the course of the next 15 years. They also have commitments to expand capacity and throughput, both in the near and future term. And then there is a term we term windfall protection, which is tied to excess container storage revenue, which was something that happened during COVID. Outside of the financial terms, there are also a variety of what we call non-financial terms related to alignment with our objectives around sustainability and our net zero goal as an agency by 2050, MWBE and local participation, minimum performance standards, key performance indicators or KPIs, and various reporting requirements which will allow the Port Department to provide oversight and governance to a larger degree than currently exists. And then a number of other initiatives related to safety, security, improvement to the trucker experience, and to work with us as a partner on applying different ideas around innovation, like use of drones, things like that. So that is the broad framework for the deal. We feel like this is a positive development. And so the request today will be for the board to authorize this lease supplement as described over the last a few minutes. Do you have any questions?
All right, any questions? I know we've had a lot of discussions over the last year, and we'll have obviously a vote and some discussion during the public. Any questions now? We can push it off to the public. Seeing none, we have a motion from a committee member who is not recused. Have a second?
Second.
Any objections? None. Motion's passed. That concludes today's Committee on Operations. Thank you, Derek and Beth.